The Champions Clash is the first major Overwatch tournament of 2026 and the first LAN being played in Japan. Low-key bars. From a new hero sneaking its way into the meta mid-bracket, teams trying to determine the best way to deal with people Jay chilling in the skybox like they got a Tears of the Kingdom flying machine, and a historic, first of its kind grand finals, this tourney did not disappoint. But before we get into it, I gotta let you know, if you want to watch OWCS live, including the next major starting on July 29th, tap into the co-stream on this very YouTube channel or at my Twitch, where you can also earn special in-game esport cosmetics. With that said, let's get into the best and worst plays of the OWCS Champions Clash 2026. The first game of the tournament was Weibo Gaming against VirtusPro, and this matchup already has some lore to it. Last year, Landon said that Weibo is just not good at Overwatch and that Leave should probably retire. This year, he joined VirtusPro and brought that hate with him. Low-key, after watching some of these plays, Landon McGee might have a point. This means even though Yveltal is no longer with Weibo, the entire lobby was still filled with a dark aura. Landon was dropping the bag, legit got some Wemby vs Chet level beef, but the intimidation tactics kinda worked. VP had Weibo handing over the entire map with a little resistance. You'd think that having the permanent Call of Duty kill streak vs John turret on the floor would let you control the space a bit better, but if the pilot is showing signs of being inebriated while simultaneously determining his routes using the built-in GPS of a 2013 Hyundai Elantra, it might be cooked. Between the wrong brothers in the sky and VP pulling the classic pro gamer move of staying indoors, they took Oasis in a clean 2-0. So Weibo bring us to Numbani and VP bans out the cat, ensuring that all bastions keep their toes on the floor. Once again, we see VP's sheer presence take almost the entire point instantaneously. Don't get me wrong, it's a great kite on Kevster's form, but now they've given up the point, the high ground, the deed to their house, and their lives. But never give up on your dreams. Even with eyes absolutely munching on Maka's Suzu, Weibo keeps rotating. They know that 99% of kiters stop moving right before they escape trouble. And just like that, they strike cold as Maka's lane guides them 2 steps into the payload. Lucky for him, Shy catches Psycho frolicking in the streets, which means Maka escapes with the troll face not only unpunished, but also with a feeling of triumph. From here, Shy decides to repeatedly hate crime a poor victim of CTE. This the kind of TP you only set up if you've been stuck on that one portal level for over an hour. But Shy gave him no time to think. He was waiting around the corner to kill him twice in 20 seconds. Eventually, Psycho puts down the JFK cosplay for just long enough to set up a wall and help his team cap the point. Shy has so much hate in his heart that even after getting the kill, he pops OC and shoots most of it into the wall. He wants any trace of Psycho's existence completely erased. He be popping ult just to have extra shots to be a hater. VP had no type of time for third point, but they had a sim wall cooking. So if they can just live the OT long enough, we can't even go one game without a C9, not possible. Hold on though, it's not that bad. Lee Soo-min hit the early boop of the day to send Ai's goofy ass back to Toontown. But job's not done. And their big idea to take first point is to walk up to Kevster and pray they don't get mowed down. Though they did get him off the high ground, it was only so he could go looking for his next victim. Have no fear, Lee Soo-him is on the scene and feeling particularly boopy today. This late kill lets Weibo take the high ground with ease and set Shy up to do it again. He makes sure to give Psycho a rail because it's about the journey, not the destination, and hits a low-key collat to move on to second. However, this is where the Shy carry takes a back seat because Sunzo is looking to redeem himself. While Shy was saving the franchise, Sunzo hit Schrodinger's grab. Bro probably calmed, whole team, it's everyone, oh my god! Looked inside, 0 people. Psycho was not trying either. Look back like, what the fuck's going on over there? Meanwhile, Sunzo was so flabbergasted he thought he was on a prank show, started searching for the hidden camera. Despite appearing too stoned to play, he had the guts to knock that shit off during the attack. Bro was looking like a girder with the way he carried his beam. Straight moving at Mach speed, trying to have a wide guard around Psycho's twisted dimensions, all while giving a helping hand at the same time. Look at him do live coaching with his allies to increase their defense. Once Sunzo got into close combat with the backline, shit was Jove, and Weibo was 1 fight away from evening the set. So all worked up and with a bit of swagger, Sunzo takes over the point with an iron fist, lives on 5 HP through sheer force, and flings us along to a map 3. Here in New Junk City, Leave, like us, was jump scared by the full potential of Kevster at land for the first time in many moons. And right away, it's apparent why the gods intervened to stop this man from qualifying for the entirety of 2025. They were scared. Kevster put on such a heater performance that for a brief moment, the very Earth itself had its temperature raised by an average of 5 degrees Celsius, despite the whole population getting literal chills. This is pure, raw, unadulterated ethical hoops. He left Shy in complete terror to the point where he was sliding into walls. Kev had bro living up to his name, embracing his timid nature. All speed, no attack. They call him Kevin Sterling because this guy pounds. He's making plays dirtier than the average magazine display at a Japanese 7-Eleven. Winning fights with solo high noon on land in 2026. How? Sources are saying the censorship laws made it so the crowd couldn't see the screen clearly. Like he ended the series with a 6K. 6! This is odd because there's only 5 guys on the enemy team. Shy got hit scam gap twice. I can't. Hello? This means VirtusPro waits to play the winner of ZETA Division vs Spacestation Gaming on day 2, while Weibo plays the loser later this same day. Luckily for those teams, they don't have to wait too long to know who they're playing against, because we have the top seed out of Korea against the second best in North America. And if there's one thing I know about NA, it's that they will always, without fail, choose the quickest path to the nearest airport. There are few certainties in life, but ZETA Division have found 2. Violet doing a little trolling, and Proper farming for his next montage. Hit the Fly Noon, came off the top ropes for a 3K and said, man, that's not good enough. Run that shit back. So he orders Violet to airlift him like he's Taylor Swift going to the closest McDonald's and gets his 3-piece combo. Then he demolishes a small fry and lines up dessert to finish the meal. I like how to Proper, the biggest threat on the field is the TP. This shit took all his concentration, so when Lethal actually came through it, he had no fight left. Bro hit the Mage Axe as a last-ditch effort. In fact, Lethal was the only guy trying to make something happen for SSG, and that's because bro is from Turkey, so this NA game plan does not come naturally. Either way, he made it so Violet's curious Mizuki pick did not win a single ult fight. And I'ma be honest, until now, we saw this guy picked maybe twice in all of OWCS, so only Violet knows what the fuck he's on about. But we have no time to dwell on that, because we have NA's true hope, the Dallas Fuel versus Crazy Raccoon. Yup, we got back-to-back NA versus Korea. The schedulers are not rocking with this region. But this time, it's a little different. I mean, it's the Dallas Fuel. They got 2 Koreans as it is, and they're here to game. Kecleon Classic main tank difference. Bro mind controlled Junbin to try and shatter him out of the shatter? Shit don't even make sense. And Sunjin couldn't miss a pulse if he tried. We saw him do this shit on 2 billion ping, so on land, it's not even a minigame to him. He's just going through the menu interface. However, they failed to convert all of this into any type of fight win, including Kecleon putting 2 people on their back. Cause even though Sunjin baited out the Suzu with his pulse, he promptly died to Hisang stuck to the floor, leaving Stalker available to just walk around and shoot people in the head. And while I said Kellen's here to game, he also had other plans. After fighting for the Crusaders, he swapped over to Winston and got in some straight cardio for the entire round. Now, I'll give credit where credit is due. He only died twice on Monkey into Mauga and Cassidy in 2026? Good job, bro. That's a tough feat. And all this training is paying off. Boom. Dodge the cage. Not even close. Now, just to speak a little about the Fuel's non-Korean components, Luke Minnow was so scared to duel Hisang that he killed himself. The best part about this is you can tell he's never been more certain of any action he's taken in his life. This is a man who already knows he's not built for this. Although, maybe that's because he was on Lucio. On Wu Yang, it's a whole different story. He had 2 full seconds to ult himself, but bro froze. He ain't moving 40 minutes. At this point, Hisang didn't just snatch all of Luke's aura, but his firstborn is gonna live a full life and still not have this debt paid off. Luke clearly knew how dire the situation was, and he was ready to claw his way out. Hit the Sunsteel strike, killed 3, no help, solo fight win. His grandson might get a debt-free life. Unfortunately for him, Chorong did the exact same thing a whole minute and a half earlier. So not only does it look like he's trying to copy his flow, but Chorong decided, fuck this, I'ma spin back. Told him it's not a one-time deal, it's a full-time business, and showed him how it's really done. This, along with Stalker deciding their fate and turning into a prime archer, sealed the deal with a commanding 2-0. He even showed us it's not about the length of the draw, but how you aim the tip. Flaccid arrow for the kill. For the final game of the opening round, we have the top seed of the tournament, Twisted Minds, up against the second best team from China, all gamers. That's right, every one of them. Me, you, your duo, your mom playing Candy Crush. You could bring out the whole ocean and it still wouldn't be enough to be Twisted Minds. They said they're not too confident in their Cat Bastion comp, but surely AG is not a threat. Something far more sinister than anyone could have anticipated is afoot. Simple dropped the worst lane of his entire TM tenure and single-handedly made their ult economy crash harder than the CS2 skin market. Liga hit the 180-degree perfect parry on Quartz High Noon, and Easy Han was walking around like he somehow turned into Easy Ons. Hit the calm kill into a flank for the 3-tap? It's too elementary. The craziest part about this is Jwoo full swinging the bomb that he just demeched while under absolutely zero pressure. This disaster class was quickly solved by just letting them play the heroes they can 1v9 on. Don't let him play Bastion. Quartz out here styling on Freya. Ain't no one touched her this whole tournament. He's nothing like y'all. Once they put down the cat and scrapped the Bastion, TM had the most dominant display so far. But this begs the question, how will they fare on day 2 when they gotta square up against Crazy Raccoon, or even if they lose, whoever they might have to face down in lowers, which we now arrive to, with both matchups being NA vs China and also still a best of 3. First, Spacestation Gaming take on the team who sent them home in the last 2 lands they attended, Weibo Gaming. So is third time the charm? Well, map 1 started off a little tough, as they ultimately suffered from the classic Christopher coached conundrum on land. They used the lane, beat, Simwall, and Diva Bomb just to lose the fight because UV got left behind Home Alone style. But on the second round, Admiral made sure to start off with a bang. Chill ass boop onto Sunzo, which not even Mauga Jank could recover from. Later, Lee Sumin responded with an environmental kill of his own with a classic catnap off the side, except no sir, Admiral shut the door. Bro flew out the spawn room with the type of quickness you only see when the McRib is back for a limited time. You can tell he's been in the JPC Racing custom lobbies. He is TAS. It's looking good for SSG. Last fight, with point, with an ult advantage, and a Lenny Pulse Jacks. Bro is a real eater, even on the game. Gulp down the Bastion nade with no hesitation. Follow this with Admiral cosplaying as an observer drone just chilling above the fight. plus Hawk getting significantly staggered, and suddenly Weibo are firmly in control. This gives Lee Sumin and Shy the complete confidence to run it into the SSG spawn. I just want to know who he was feeling like to go for this nade prediction, let alone trying to kill a Tracer from the skybox with the baby Blicky. Nobody practices these shots, come on. Of course, this turns into an absolute scrap, and Admiral has to pull out some crazy aerial maneuvers just to keep the wick burning.
Touch, 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 touch!
Take this shit no more, man!
Even though everyone knew it was bad already, we were blissfully unaware of what laid ahead. It doesn't start too bad. Lenny, with the invisibility cloak equipped, slides past Sunzo and one-clips Maka without even a glance his way. Like Sunzo takes an entire mag worth of back shots and doesn't even calm over to Maka. He deadass thought this must have been the wind, I don't get it. SSG take advantage of this pick by having their backline spontaneously combust. For what purpose is Admiral bashing at the Reaper? That's the wrong way! But maybe we just gotta take a step back and think. Okay, what does he even do? He's playing Brig into a Flying Bastion, a Zarya, and a Reaper. Bro serves zero purpose. He should swap heroes now. But apparently Hawk is the one who thought he needed to swap, and he and Lenny go on an expedition to hunt down Maka. Except, where did he go? Lenny had eyes on him. He had him pinned down. Then suddenly, bro vanished. He deadass despawned like he left the render distance. It's like he got his own invisibility cloak ripped off his back and he didn't even know it. This marks the second time that Lenny's been crossed up on this King's Row high ground against Weibo Gaming. So how did David Makafield escape the situation? He just kind of walked away. This might be the most nonchalant ankle break of all time. We got one more troll in us to complete the all-time team-wide disaster class. Hawk sprints it down, inciting shades of ranked gameplay. He is genuinely closer to the nearest airport than the rest of his team. Bro is leading the pilgrimage out of the arena. Underrated part of this saga? On their defense, the entire team started inside the hotel. Weibo have the whole map 20 seconds in, which leaves the final game of day one. Dallas Fuel fighting as the last hope of NA against all gamers, but this time they're one player short. Your mom is not a part of the fight, cause she with me instead. Up top, hello? AG have cemented themselves as a team completely built off hype, moments, and aura. They said fuck macro, fuck fight planning, fuck all of that. They're here to make plays. Like, when have you seen 7 players on their back in any Overwatch game since the GOATS era? EasyHan smiling ear to ear. This ain't even a Kovac scenario. He just holding it down in their general direction. Now, did they win any other fight in this round? Hell no. But Langsa for sure hit the fattest catnap of all time. So tournament life on the line, back against the wall, what do? Bring out the magnitude 10 level threat. The commander came into the lobby on D.Va with the sole intention of dropping truth nukes. These are the type of plays I know that you can pronounce because you see them on the low ladder, which means to Dallas, it was basically ancient Chinese warfare straight from ya boy Kongming. And I know Sunjin got steam coming out of his ears. By the time a third bomb hit the kill feed, it was obvious AG had absolutely nothing else in their bag, and that Dallas still had no way to deal. The slow turn from Sunjin, who has 2,000 DPI and 11.5 in-game sets, says it all. He is over it. And despite learning from Sun Tzu's Art of War, AG could not get it done. Which means along with SSG, they end the tourney without a single map win. And the fight for which region is more ass goes on into day 2. However, we got no time to worry about that right now, because we have some real Overwatch Twisted Minds, Crazy Raccoon, reigning world champs versus reigning champions clash champs. Yup, let's go! Junbin wasted no time rolling out harder than those two guys playing
Bakugan Brawl.
miss.
Except Junbin has never missed his gate card, and his critical hit rate is off the charts. But the real threat was Stalker. I've never seen a person make Bastion Mortar Strike look low-key impressive. He read Jwoo's life twice in one map. Wait 1 minute. Have we ever seen Stalker and Striker Jones in the same room? Much to consider. What was probably supposed to be the best game so far turned into a complete Stalker montage. I swear to God, every single fight he got the first pick, TM would enter his LOS and start hearing the trumpets. The pearly gates are calling. Like across all 3 maps, TM had 1 fight win. Y'all ain't Twisted Minds no more. You are straight ass. Please fight back. Stalker's causing the first Ajax of the tourney for the love of the game. I don't even know how he hit this. The game just said, oh, Stalker's shooting at him? He must be dead. No other option. This shit rerouted the physics engine cause he don't miss. Besides that, Charong also gave us the 3rd instance of Mizuki gameplay, clean little TP root play. But he also gave us whatever the fuck this is. Put down the bomb! Oh, he must be heroically dragging the bomb away from his team. Never mind! Vigi is running for his life. Charong! In the other winner semi-final, VirtusPro went up against ZETA Division, and for once, there wasn't an ounce of trolling coming from the ZETA backline. This is one of the most comprehensive direct backline gaps that I've seen in a long time. Shu kills Landon, lanes on point, and hits a Gineminosaurus Suzu to deny Fixa's catnap. Violet sees this happen and knows it's a perfect opportunity to get a quick nap in himself while Fixa's doing some bullshit. However, VP has been controlling the point and just need 1 fight win to win the entire round, which means the cage fight from Eyes is the perfect place to showcase another cat gap. Violet knocks him up, then spikes him down like he hit the Ike up beat. This shit was so clean that Fixa was trying to copy his homework live. Catnap the opposing ult equals success. To test his theory, he dove into an active mortar strike. There is nobody here. He tried to catnap a live artillery round. That play, plus Milgaru locking Roadhog, broke Eisnom's mind. Bro is drunk driving live at LAN. Breathalyze him. Take away his license. What is his plan? Milgaru then goes on to survive through the type of war zone that led to the events of Fallout New Vegas and turn around to find Kevster served on a silver platter. This hero, no, villain, is an unkillable demon cockroach. You think you have him? But no. He's back. He never left. You're chilling, then bang, gone. GG, 100 owed. Have a good time. It's so fucked up that Landon got traumatic stress disorder. This shit is not P. On map 2, Eisnom defended his innocence, walking straight into the ZETA backline and blowing their shit sky high. Bro was on some Michelle Yeoh shit the way he was everywhere at once. Proper saw him fly out, but somehow he was still around to eat a delectable meal. VP just had the better macro. Bernard was left all alone, ZETA were using more ults to lose the fight anyway, and the rabid cat swap was not the play. Suddenly, this was a game. Cause even though ZETA were rolling through Rialto with 4 minutes to cap 3rd, they couldn't get past Kevin Mobley. Violet kept trying to get above him, but it was not happening. Bro couldn't even shoot from distance. He had no gas. This continued on the offense as well. Violet, frame 1, drops his spaghetti all over the floor. I can't imagine being Knife. He's watching his Uber driver pull highly illegal maneuvers and repeatedly crashing. But it still gets worse. Eisnom deletes Shu right in front of Proper, so he drops the Blizzard trying to spin back for his boy. He's on some Karapika type vengeance. Doesn't matter that bro's guaranteed to be an Eyes pop. He wants to kill him with his own hands. Eyes barely survives, but this might have been an even worse outcome. Cause in the big 2-6, he's still using Skype. Bro froze mid-call. VP played like they still had a tank, committed their best ult to lose, and got put in the blender for the rest of the point. With ZETA stabilized, Shu got to sit in Port Mackerel and paint the entire map purple like he playing Splatoon. And he's willing to go even further back. He's playing in Point Nemo right now, and he's still finding 2. It don't matter that he let Bernard get demeched, cause he got the clip. But after over 3 minutes of floundering, we get to see what a Landillion hours of Baptiste looks like. Peep game and lock in. Big heal, Big Lamp escapes from the crowd, 2 taps Violet. He's legit moving like a Kovacs target. Then, while at 30 HP, he saves Kevster and kills Knife to stop more trades, which is huge. They got another fight after this. If you're wondering how VP got out of this using only Window, perhaps Knife not participating in this fight has something to do with it. Bro basically doesn't make an appearance until he hit the "Mom, I threw up" and fucking explodes. But let's dig deeper. Why wasn't he in the fight? Because Violet missed the catnap and left him in a different area code. Pick up your package! VP end up capping second thanks to the ults they saved, and the map comes down to one last fight. ZETA have a pretty substantial ult advantage until Bernard spontaneously combusts inside Annihilation. Now it's fucked. Proper drops the blizzard to get Eyes out of the car, and he takes out Landon, but he fails to kill the frozen baby diva for the second time in the map and dies with his wall up. Proper missing this headshot is like Nathan McKinnon missing a wide open net and causing the country to fucking go. Only Shu and Violet remain for ZETA, and they attempt to pull off what might be the greatest backline clutch in all of OWCS. First, Violet zooms across point like a heat-seeking missile to smite down Fixa 8% off beat. In the meantime, Eisdom's looking for a new whip. He gets 25% ult from one melee and is ready to go, but no! Shu kept Violet up through all of it so he could scratch the shit out of him and then sacrifice himself to trade for Kevster's High Noon. This leaves Violet and Psycho in a 1v1 on point, but Violet don't want the smoke. He's moving like Hungry Box with a % lead. No interaction. Bro stalled for just long enough for Bernard to hit the nerd swap spawn rollout and make it back to the point to clutch out the map. You might be thinking, damn, where even was Psycho during that entire fight? He was completely dominated. Shu hit both cooldowns. Violet Aura blasted him away, and Proper's parting gift left him too scared to actually fight. Honestly, if any of those things don't happen, there's a good chance that he either does enough or gets up the wall for a VP win. But Dr. Psycho did not find that reality. How could you possibly top a map like that? It's not possible. Bernard reveals to be a parkour noob and misses his flux, but other than that, it was pretty much a complete ZETA win. Shu is clearly still feeling it, hitting the fuck you sleeps. Like, why did he shoot that? Is he on some tough shit with the seismic sense? I just don't know. VP put up a little fight at the very end, but ZETA had damn near 5 minutes to get just around the corner on third. So if they didn't get that, it would genuinely be the choke of the year. Looking at our bracket, we have the Nothing Ever Happens Bowl to kick off day 3, with China and NA down below fighting to see who goes home first against EMEA. Beginning with the Dallas Fuel, fending off both the Whispers of the Airport and VirtusPro, who are playing back-to-back, I guess, W scheduling. Regardless, Landon says a 3-0 is on the way. It's light work, so let's see it. VP proceeded to get 100-0 shit stomped on the opening round. No worries, they earned first round Roderick's, a little cat bastion featuring Fixa being an outside the map cat in 2 out of 2 rounds, and the Eisnomatra. They tied up the map. But apparently for round 3, he forgot about it. Much like we're trying to forget that dog shit wordplay. The Eisnomauga quickly lost 2 fights, and Dallas were in strong control of the map. Kecleon is having such a great time. Look at this rock, quite whimsical. Then CJ Stray Kunai sets up a kill onto Landon and gives Dallas a commanding position, just 1 fight away from taking the map. But Fixa has other plans. Down his tank, he catnaps Kecleon and runs into a wall, but also takes him off the side to prevent the close hold. Miraculously, he also lives to tell the tale. I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal though anyway, right? Kecleon comes back and ends up killing Eisdom regardless, so who cares? With no opposing tank, who's supposed to stop him from just floating on into the backline and pressure the Kiriko and die to the enemy bastion? Look at him, bruh. He's caught with his pants down, his shield down, his hands down, and his toes far too high up. Now, I just want to show you what Landon was doing to draw so much mental aggro from Kecleon. He TPs on the spot to dodge Flux and line up the GOAT Suzu, saves his next Suzu for the Pulse Bomb on Kevster, and he ends off the fight, forcing Sunjin's recall while serving up a knuckle sandwich to get the fight win. The VP backline continue to make a difference. It doesn't matter how much you offer Fixa, he's not catnapping for the ransom money. He doesn't even care if Kecleon lives or dies. He just wants him out of the lane so Dallas can only get the flip from it. This means the Fuel's last impact ult to win is Kecleon's Flux, which he just puts on a Ramatra. From there, they lose out to lane, bleed out to Fixa, and go from a big win to a map loss. Winning this map gave VP a pretty sizable advantage because these teams play such a stylistically different game. Shit, no one else in the tournament is moving anything like Sunjin on Dorado. The right-click animation cancel blade kill? He bringing back the ancient technology. He is the last dragon bender keeping this culture alive. The source material is so good, even a Netflix live-action adaptation would be watchable. How you gonna let a guy named Sun Jr. father your entire team? If he's doing all this, I'd hate to meet Sun Senior. Oh my god. But to be fair, it's more than just Sunjin. CJ, 2 hits, forces recall, and hits the pre-sleep like he playing Platinum Kaizo. I don't think he even saw Psycho in that position. He doing this shit blind and calculus. Dallas are so in tune with the map that the terrain itself is on their side. He got cucked by a ficus? This is next level. Who placed that potted plant there? Despite this, VP made it reasonably close, mostly because Psycho hit a nasty stick to deny the Nanoblade full cap, and Kevster has fully unlocked the potential of walking cast. This is not mentally sound. He descended in front of the entire enemy team to chase this kill, and it worked. Now imagine what this looks like in a well-planned, real, walkable city. Uh-oh. Bro's stepping like it's prime 2016 Pokemon Go, and there's a Magmar behind the dilapidated shopping mall. But that's the kind of dedication you need to get the steps. VP are the gods of New Junk City for a reason. You don't get that done without going down some shady streets. Meanwhile, Dallas are following in the footsteps of the Korean teams with some Mizuki gameplay. But the shoe just does not fit. VP sweep the map, and Dallas send us over to Numbani. With their tournament life on the line, the Dallas Fuel completely broke down. It wasn't immediately obvious. They got to 3rd point with 4 minutes to go, but then they lost a fight with a 2-for-0 ult trade. Luke Minnow is drunk flying Sunjin, then ejects him from the vehicle. Bro made him hit the low noon. He's an LOS of nothing. To make up for it, Kecleon hits a flux that's so deep, not even cave divers are willing to go in and try and follow up. But at least there, Luke was somewhat responsible. It's better to kick Sunjin out the sky than crash into a building. Turn on the TV, any channel. They hit the Numbani Tower. He runs into this thing for 2 full seconds. If that's not enough reason to take away his pilot's license, he has full-blown CTE. Bro dropped Chronic, forgot, and then turned around, but it's too late. He got full sent into a bastion inside a Kitsune Rush. May as well just throw him off the map. He somehow has better odds to live. To make matters worse, the one time he sobered up long enough to get a good swing going, Kecleon fluxed air molecules. He was so excited that he got out Suzu. The universe told him to flux immediately. This meant that instead of capping with time, Eyes got to run it down, VP got to stabilize, and Dallas eventually capped in OT. Normally, not terrible, but Dallas ended their defense with Kecleon hitting the "get away from me" ass flux, and VP capped with damn near 2 minutes. Which means officially, North America is the first region to go home from the Champions Clash, and that VirtusPro move on to the top 4. VP wait for the winner of Twisted Minds, who just suffered their first loss of 2026 versus Weibo Gaming, who probably has Xi Jinping call up Blizzard to make sure China wouldn't be the first region out. And maybe they got him to tweak some settings as well, because this opening round was simply not natural. The Zarya right clicks are hitting harder than Tiffany Day hit my playlist when Halo came out. It's like they got rocks in their snowballs, but instead it's shards of glass in their gravity balls? What the fuck is this projectile even supposed to be? Unfortunately, the People's Republic of China did not think this through. TVNT out here sniping with pinpoint precision. He finally got the chance to show off his Saudi foraging and is not squandering this opportunity. So instead of gaining the mechanical advantage, the Zarya duel was dead even. If Sunzo hits a huge counter grab that results in Funny Astro Ajaxing because his fat ass head was peeking around the corner, then guess what? TVNT doing that shit right back. Except the actual size isn't what's important. It's how you use it. You have to believe me. Don't worry though. Funny Ajax isn't the only one to not quite touch the ground. Look at this arc, bruh. He lined up like a high school kinematics equation. However, after that, TM locked in for the rest of the map like Keyfree when his bangs moved 0.5 millimeters, and thus began the worst map 5 dragger of all time. Let me be clear. This shit was not a toilet bowl. It was giving public fountain where the water pressure is just not quite high enough, and you gotta put your water bottle on some insane off angle just to get it like halfway filled. Twisted Mind's map wins were complete domination. Quartz doing the most, always good for a fuck you pick. Jwoo out here hitting the Big Bang combo like it's a rainy day in Shibuya, and he got the guts to back it up. Walked leave like a dog in the duel. How does he even lose this? Jwoo has 1 blink, no recall, and he got the jump. My mom asked me if I did the dishes. I just replied, Weibo Gaming leave. And she knew they were washed. And clearly, the Ghost in the Machine was not happy with the map 1 alteration. It smited Shy down from the heavens right when Weibo was trying to stabilize. TVNT has no shame either. Saw the game bug out and hit top speed just to capitalize on the situation. I have never seen him move this fast. Meanwhile, a Weibo win comes directly from the lore buff. I finally understand why we call Japan the land of the rising Sunzo. I haven't seen cancellations like these since a Nico GDH took to Twitter with some information to share. Court's gonna close his eyes and see rocks up in his face like he's playing a Glamora on turn 1. I thought Venture was the only hero who ate rocks, but apparently Quartz is ready to fill his plate. He and Funny Astro got that co-op duo disaster class. It takes 2 to click Deadeye and fly into the rock at the same time. He saw the rock coming. He is not a victim. He's an accomplice to the crime. And why is Shy AFK? Once again, TM are too happy to see someone bugging out. Quartz jiggle peeking like his life depends on it. Not only is the game itself against Shy, but so is the production team. He's AFK for genuinely 20 seconds before this pause comes in. This is the type of thing to create a villain origin story. Unfortunate doesn't begin to describe this series. And before I forget, all of that happening in this fight does not excuse Lee Soo-min engaging the feed drive to warp speed. I feel like I just watched a planned car crash. He lucky as hell Sunzo worked this Sigma matchup like Capitology gonna be working the McDonald's fryer if Disguised go winless in stage 3. But also, shout out Weibo for making this play where they do a shit early Bastion form in order to bait TM into taking an aggressive turn just to pull the Uno reverse fly noon. Maybe my goat still got it. One of the best things about these international lands is you get to see teams iterate on each other's strategies. For example, when Hawk ran it down against Weibo in day 1, they were impressed and decided to take that in a slightly different direction. Here's Sunzo with the fast, deep rotation with his Cat Bastion, but they just keep going and he's left out to dry. Oh, and here's Maka on the same play. He's in the spawn room while his tank is crit. This is like a gold player's cosplay of the great Jabate. Lil bro, you are not Lane Roberts. Eventually, he swapped to Kiriko, and with Jwoo trying to send his pulse into the stratosphere and playing Tracer like they let a PC into the insane asylum, gave Weibo some hope. Although, Shy took the nade perk, which means the only way to win the Bastion duel is to tap into your inner projectile DPS from the days of old and just hit that shit. And Shadowburn does it again, but surely it's too late. They've dillied their last dally. Sunzo's out the car, TM got the lane out with the Bastion turn. Oh my days. We dined to remake bombs in the top 5 of the tourney. Quartz was unaware his big ass nose was sticking out, man. And Jwoo somehow fails to put the pulse in the square hole and goes on an adventure across the map to die. This leads to a Weibo overtime cap. And despite TM rolling through first and second, a botched ult economy, courtesy of the team splitting up and looking for clues in a beaten gauge, bring Twisted Minds to also cap in overtime. At this point, you can probably tell where it's going. We got no gas in the extra rounds and no contest, giving us the complete story of this cat water bowl ass Map 5. Which means the 5th and final game of Day 2 is the Battle of EMEA. Last time these guys met, VP handed TM their only map loss of the entire EMEA stage, and right away, they were looking to get another. The Iceman and Psycho linked up to use TM's own secret technique against them. First round Raymonds were jumping for joy as VP hit a 100-0, and we're back. Twisted Minds 200-0 the next 2 rounds. Jwoo is playing Tracer like he's unlocked 100% of his brain. He has less downtime than a Mappa animator. Bro started playing for the clip, little heat check on the pulse bomb just to see if he still got it over 8 hours into the stream. But it turns out this overloaded his neurons. Bro started New Junk City, getting absolutely gapped by Psycho. He even fell victim to the most humble ego stick in the history of the game. He's straight up aiming in TM's general direction with 1% chance, 99% faith. But what's really concerning for TM, other than Jwoo's fluctuating mental stability, is Kevin Steroid. Loading into New Junk City gives Kevster the same performance-enhancing buffs as Chio and Fielder when they see Donghack in the lobby. How is it balanced that this guy has his personal domain expansion built into the map pool? He cannot miss, even when he doesn't mean to. Boom, Jwoo sniped down. First recorded instance of a Tracer hitting the Get Down Mr. President. But apparently that shit was the right play? Izdom got baby diva phobia. Bro popped ult and sprinted to the other side of the map. Meanwhile, TVNT activated his simple domain to cause Kev to miss 1 bullet and give Match Fixa an opportunity to become a pancake. Basically, the scriptwriters had to come up with some inexplicable bullshit for VirtusPro to lose 1 point on this map. And Kev didn't just make him Swiss cheese. He inflicted long-lasting psychological damage. TM were dedicating every single resource they had just to try and slow him down a little bit. What's crazy is TVNT had to hit this grab from Harry Potter's bedroom. He was too scared to enter LOS or he'd get beamed the fuck down. Bro's doing all that just to get ran down by Izdom and pieced up by Fixa. However, it took VP 4 great ults, and now TM has Ray and Rally to deal with Kevster's lonely high noon. And it's safe to say, they had that shit handled. He popped out high ground and no questions asked, both of them dropped their ults. I don't care if it's Jesus himself using Deadeye on this cross, it cannot be that serious. And tell me why Funny Astro is looking around confused like he didn't just lock in that satellite vector. Kevster's raw aura single-handedly threw Twisted Mind's ult economy into the Great Depression. And just when the market was about to stabilize, something came across Fastro's desk that incentivized him to hard swing the high noon. Or maybe he had a natural Kevlonian response, trying to overcorrect his original mistake. Low-key mental masterclass from Professor K. Now VP are like 4 fights away from going up in the series and make that 3. The Twisted Minds backline must be a family with the way they feed fast and furious. Quartz gets a fuck you kill to make VP take a quick reset, but they're in a phenomenal position to take the cap right here. The threat is dead. Their Kitsune is guiding, but the grab is out and Fixa, so close to beat, builds it, waits out the rally stun. The time is now. Hello? The good news is any parent should trust Fixa with their kids, because I'm 100% sure he would not beat them. And this was not a, oh, we lost a god? Just go next fight. Bro is shaking in his boots at the possibility of an Ajax. Izdom fully commits bomb, even gets a squish kill on TVNT, and forces Fastro to drop Ray. This fight was close. However, this means VP have the ult advantage, and Fixa uses it to go for a stroll around the block. Like, yeah, he uses it in response to Quartz overclock, but this guy hit 2 rails, one on Fixa and another on Landon, who's only there because Fixa is going for a Sunday drive. Now there are no ults and nothing to stop Jason Wu from turning Overwatch into a horror game. What the actual fuck is this guy on? It's not even a 1 clip, it's a 3/4 of a clip. Landon's dead in less than a second, like his dead body is ragdolling in the air for longer. And just like that, it's over. Fixa apparently forgot how to climb walls, there's no time for a reset, and Jason Wu continues to massacre the Texas team. Not only does Twisted Minds go up in the series, but they shatter VP's mental like they just deranked an entire ELO bracket while seeing losing trend, reversal, and demotion all at the same time. We're talking a complete primal reversion back to Virtus Noob. 4-minute full capped on Runasapi to go out unbelievably sad. Which brings us to the final day. Only 3 teams remain, and somehow we've yet to have a true Map 5 banger despite some pretty good games. Perhaps the Korean Showdown will give us what we need. We have the favorites of the tournament, the undefeated ZETA Division, up against the demons behind the Cat Bastion composition, Crazy Raccoon. It starts off with ZETA playing a choose-your-own-adventure game, but they got a save state right before the branch split and trying to explore all options. Rounds 1 and 2 are scarily similar, with Knife getting active immediately like it's an altercation in a London alleyway. Bro's looking so sharp you'd think they have an entire enchantment room backstage. He's rivaling Jinwoo's Chin from solo leveling, and he's almost as effective at putting people to rest. Both rounds also feature Junbin and Violet in a Looney Tunes Tom and Jerry ass chase. We got annoying rat on annoying rat violence. This is the kind of fight that breaks down between 2 middle-aged white women in a Walmart parking lot. Before this built like a Wall-E human looking ass cat was added to the game, all players could sit up there for hours without being disturbed. But now, there's no time for them to take in the views. But this is where the paths diverge. On the good ending, ZETA get to 99%, come back strong with an ult advantage, and win the round. But on the bad ending, ZETA still get to 99% and proceed to choke damn near every ult they have. Milgaru almost does something, but in the end, he ran so much cardio that he's all tuckered out and just can't participate in the real fight whatsoever. But Shu gives him a chance to redeem himself with the Nano Boost application. Big pressure comes through. Here it is. Shades of Super TF on the court. Turns out you kinda need to land some type of ultimate ability to close out Crazy Raccoon, especially with Junbin moving like Cirque du Soleil on the Wrecking Ball. First, he takes out Knife. No biggie, nothing special. But then he swings around, mid-air rollout on Violet twice before knocking him up like he's Shane Dawson and finishing the job. Which leaves the third round and the true ending. Stalker getting off the goob nut. Like Milgaru has a balzillion health, and he's still ducking out of the 3v2. I know Knife and Violet got steam coming out of their ears. Pulled up to help a homie just to get baited and boxed like a fish. This led to their new strategy. Pretend they do not see it. He deadass crossing the street to get to the other side. Shu saw his duo die to the wind and had no defense. It's impossible to stop an invisible force. This leaves Curious George to go over and investigate the crime scene just to become part of it. But on map 2, the teams had a handshake agreement that for the first 2 points, they were doing the Evan Bouchard challenge, playing no type of defense. Both teams entered third like they had a quick play time bank, and it's clearly not due to a lack of defensive ability. The last time Shu came in contact with this much peel, he was playing Mario Kart, but Bernard has more to give. Pulls up with the rock straight from DK Mountain for the gap. As a reward for a job well done, Bernard pulls up to Dairy Queen where he's working with a coupon for 1 free Blizzard. And talk about excellent customer service. Couldn't have had a cleaner handoff if he tried. However, I like ZETA's take on this challenge. Don't contest at all and have Proper get slowly chipped down without using his cooldown ability. Like, this is 45 seconds in and they are down all resources on the final corner. ZETA are so good at trolling that I think they became scared of their true potential, because this is generational. It's not just that they weren't winning any fights, they were barely taking them, and CR were on task pace. So they gave up on the Evan Bouchard no defense challenge and dumped 4 ults, everything they had, to try and win a fight on second. But that shit did not work. Ironically, this made them bring the Bouchard challenge to its extreme, as CR full capped with over 4 minutes on the clock. Meanwhile, Crazy Raccoon are putting their lives on the line to get that time bank down. They got Chorong body blocking ults like he in a 2017 Mercy montage. And the individual effort is kinda crazy. Vigilante trades his life for the sleep on Bastion and watches Violet hit a catnap the long way. Normally, a snipe like this is a complete goobing, but Stalker hits the frame-perfect off-map fadeaway nade stick. From his POV, you can't even tell what happened. It's actually the final possible moment. The point of this is that we have extra rounds with Crazy Raccoon having 3 more minutes than ZETA to get it done. But remember, neither team has won a defensive fight outside of third point, and Bernard is on a tear. ZETA get the cap on first, so now it's anyone's game, and even though you don't speak the language, I can guarantee you know what the caster is saying.
추가 시간이라 중력 붕괴 눈보라 너무 벽인데요.
This C9 has bro in pure agony. He's screaming like he got sent to the 7th circle of hell. And low-key, I get it. How? ZETA know they're at an ult disadvantage and that Heesang's feeling frosty. So they leave the point to the guy who can beat and pull out a strat straight from the mag playbook, which is not great. But that shit don't matter when Proper is taking in the environmental ambiance. Lock in! But Proper did not lock in. Despite the winnable situation, he took 3 business days to click shift at 19 HP. Bro really thought this Sigma shield was gonna be good to go. 19 HP is more than 0. That's all he needs. To be fair, I don't know why Violet is trying to heal him through telekinesis. I don't even care whose fault it is at this point. This shit is ass. Just go next, man. In case this series didn't have enough weird shit going on, the Spirit of Flats infiltrated the lobby and we hard pivot to a Rhine mirror. But the bad news for ZETA is they have to start a reverse sweep and they're getting worked on every angle. Shu is in the middle of the street during the Bastion turn, so there's no help on the counterpin, and Violet is carrying around Knife like he's encumbered due to the weight of his Cash App notifications. Bro swang nothing, then dropped him between a Rhine and a Reaper. If this was a catnap on the enemy, we'd give him a gold star for a job well done. And it's not just a bucket of bolts weighing him down. Violet took a break mid-fly noon to position it in the only possible location to get cancelled. The best part about this is Chorong thought he was a top agent in the Sneak Nation, but nah, Violet just did not care. Oh, and not to mention a Rhine gap as deep as the Mariana's Trench and as long as Derpy's band. Milgaru is on his back and concussed. Bro got red mid-game like perks on a hero you do not play, then went full speed into a wall. And in confirmation that he got June bitched, he don't even try to get his get back. Goes for the weak aura shatter on the backline just to die. And there it is. Bro got put in the bin so hard he hit the Mauga rage swap. He not really about this honor and glory lifestyle. Milgaru has made an enemy of the Crusaders, and it looks like he still might be in the bin. But you fail to consider that this hero is about as natural as a craft single. If his HP ain't 0, it may as well be a Malgillion. He will not die. At this point, you have better odds to see Lenny place first than watching Mauga die 1v5 in 30 seconds. This is the kind of swap that not only changes ZETA's play, but also Crazy Raccoon's. Like, Proper can get active with the extra Mauga press. That much makes sense. But I don't know how one Mauga swap mind controls the enemy team. Does it really mean Chorong starts missing stuns on the slowest Beyblade to ever let it rip? Once the Mauga swap came through, Crazy Raccoon won 2 fights, and Heesang, after Violet's over full bag stopped his catnap early, pivoted his engagement into an intense ring around the rosy 1v1. Violet snatched his chain, broke his ankles, and warped his mind. Bro really thought the fight was still happening and hit the 2v5 Blossom. With the reverse sweep in the cards, we go to King's Row, where these teams are still defending the payload like they're the embodiment of James Harden. No urgency, no hustle, just letting that shit roll on through. Makes you wonder, damn, how'd they even get here? Violet went from ringing around the Rosie to thinking he Kendrick and playing peekaboo at 15 HP. And it's different from Circuit. ZETA didn't fumble like NFT bros due to poor investments. They stabilized with the help of Kaluja's soul taking over Max and a lonely Sunsteel strike. They did everything right and indiscriminately fell to a Hawstalker takeover. There's nothing they can do. Bro decided they genuinely do not deserve to live. Bro heard one peep in the backline and snapped around to deny any trades too. And here is where we clearly see the intent behind the Mizuki pick. putting the opposing tank in the contraption. I'm surprised Bernard lived that long. Sigma players are getting as close to the Overwatch 1 Winston treatment as they can. Every single fight, it's some "where do you think you're going" type bullshit. Like Max trying to leave this gravity well, but fuck no, bruh, you will hear this melody. Then with Chorong dead 99 on Sanctuary and Bernard McKenzie Law Firm laying it down, Zeta Division have 5 great minutes to cap 3rd point, during which time they lose a double support out fight to Flux Lane while Proper goes to the moon on Barrage and fully relied on Bob's Ops Be Gone to get the job done. It's like bro knew this was the only time in the entire tournament that he'd get active, so he put up Owl's Season 1 IDD QD final blows per 10 numbers. This is the opportunity. Early ult advantage, mid-fight second support ult timing. It's perfect. Where my Barrage at? Chorong's cute ass swaps Juno and hits the most deranged flank I have ever seen from the character. Do not do this at home. And honestly, no other trained professional should be doing this either. This is the type of play you cannot pronounce, and had Proper taking a deep self-reflection about if this Barrage was even worth it. From there, Stalker levels up to Murder, and Zeta have one final shot to cap the point for just a chance to draw out the map. But that shit is not happening. Quick 2-tap gap and then drew the entire enemy team into the small room. Bro got an Oko, then clicked follow me. He the damage and the support. This let Hisang strike down that one ugly duckling who did not follow the leader, and with one last symphony falling on deaf ears, Zeta Division suffered their first loss of 2026, which means Crazy Raccoon handed losses to the only 2 undefeated teams left, and that those 2 teams are meeting in the losers finals. But Twisted Minds have a weapon of last resort that hasn't played with the team since the World Finals 6 months earlier. Without so much as a scrim, Yubi changes the game inside and out. Bro takes the admin's pen, runs the calculations on the draft for his team, then writes down the code of Hama Yubi and snatches that utensil for himself. Cause just like every other aspect of the game, he is in control. The poor schmuck doesn't even know what hit him. Now, Zeta did win 100-0 in the opening round, but everyone knows the first game on is a warm-up game and thus does not count. Not even Yubi is immune to this law of nature. However, he did find a way to reduce it to just 1 round. And after that, the game truly began. Zeta were not prepared for the power of one of the best hit scans of our generation being a piece in Yubi's master plan. Proper tried to keep up and play this 4D chess game with Yubi, but in the process, he forgot to play Overwatch. At the same time on the map, TVNT is committing hog and ball torture of which Milgaru could not handle. Maybe after that easy first round, bro thought he could redeem himself in the eyes of the Crusaders, but when he saw pigs fly halfway across the map, he quickly remembered he was not built for this. It took his ass all of 1 life to go back to old reliable Mauga. This didn't immediately win, but it started a domino effect. Malgaru was exerting so much pressure, Fastro felt inclined to beat 4v2 and sell the entire TM alt portfolio. There's a team kill on the board before the beat's even halfway done. So like 0.5 seconds in today's economy. Oh, and also, Proper swap to Pharah, which means TM are walking into a Cage Barrage combo in a must-win fight. Zeta make the first move, Cage down, missiles inbound, and the oxygen molecules are in a world of pain. For most teams, this is a disaster waiting to happen, but the Yoobsters is multiple steps ahead. In one swift cooldown, he cheated 2 ults while flipping the cap. Then to secure the fight, he got the clean combo on Shu, along with his big beam on Milgaru to give TM control of the point for the last fight. Proper, now well aware of the threat, goes for a cheeky spawn camp in an attempt to catch Yubi off guard. Except they know his movements, hunt him down, and with a no-look behind the back sim orb, Yubi puts TM up a player. No Farrakhank means it's the perfect time for Tivin to find some stunner dinklets to abduct. Schnook on the hook put up 0 fight. Stole Jidicus right out from under Violet's primordial pouch. For the first time ever, the 2-second cooldown between tethers actually impacted the game, as TM TM tied up the map. For the final round, TM returned the favor from the start of the map. Quartz is more dialed than a pizza place on New Year's Eve. He running that John Noon. 2 feet on the floor, 2 kills in the feed, and the entire enemy team dead. Still, he remains dialed with a little bit of between fight aim training to maintain peak performance. For a Cat Bastion comp, Knife spent a suspiciously long time on the ground. I don't know if Violet got his Uber license taken away for flying under the influence, or if he just got bored of being an E-Kitten. Either way, ZETA has to rethink this strategy and reconsider why Shu is rolling out on Zen for every round. It's not like he did poorly, he just didn't do anything. He playing Overwatch with peace and tranquility like he's actually cosplaying as Zen. ZETA's bright idea to turn this around was to lose the first flashpoint by sacking the featured Shipmon, Milgaru on Sigma. Where is Bernard? Why is their goated off-tank riding the bench? Even then, ZETA banned Ram, presumably to protect Malga or something. Then, their true intentions were revealed. Cue the Brandito-style indie rock, cause this demon just made a cinematic montage experience. Bro punched out Twisted Minds on some Little Mac shit while gifting proper apple after apple like a 2010s pop-up ad. His KO punches must land, cause the TM ult cycle practically wins fights on its own. I'm gonna say it though, he can't do more. This is the first punch I've seen that made me believe he could actually level a skyscraper. Quartz thought this was a free meal, opening pick and everything, then bang! His entire team turned into abstract art. TM were so scared of him. Just the sound of a punch forces Suzu. Proper looks to take advantage of it too, but TVNT was so hungry, he ate it up despite not seeing it on his screen. He Joey Chestnut, inhaled it so fast it couldn't materialize. From there, with the wall press on point, along with Milgaru's escape plan getting cucked by Quartz taking a hit to make a play, TM took control. At least until Milgaru pulled up, hit the back-to-back-to-back Tokyo whack on TVNT in front of his entire crew and repossessed his vehicle. Now it's the final fight for the go-ahead point. MG corrals the whole brain trust into a small corridor, hits the goop punch, only for his backline to spontaneously combust. ZETA's pinch was great, but Yubi's bucket was better. With his beam enlarged, nobody is safe. Couple that with the Quartz fuck you pick through 3 bodies and it's Jove. After TM got quaked on by the 9.0 Richter scale punch, Milgaru went into their spawn to get active, resulting in him trading his Meteor Strike for beat. Despite this, TM still had the ults to match, meaning it came down to who could find the kills first. Yubi's always good for it. Microwaved Violet on the spot through the Sanctuary, and before Milgaru could hunt down this literal bar of soap that is Kiriko in lane, TVNT shows him the boring, old-fashioned way to kill that boy, then eviscerates Knife in 2 seconds flat mid-venture ult. Milgaru goes for one final engage, finds nothing, has Shu try to bail him out, but it's Jove. Yubi seals the deal, and despite a biblical Doom performance, ZETA are 1 map away from leaving the tournament. This makes the map 3 draft so important. This is their last chance to ban Sim before TM perma protect her by banning any other DPS first, and they also have a chance to deny a strong Sim map by picking a different one of the same type. So of course, like any self-respecting metal rank player, ZETA go to King's Row, the best hybrid Sim map available, and ban Lucio. Without knowing beforehand, you would not be able to tell me who orchestrated this draft. TM starts the defense with a clean 3-minute hold on first. My favorite part was when Violet flipped the map to give us an updated rendition of last series. This grown man has a peekaboo addiction. Are there odds on Polymarket or something? What am I missing? Eventually, ults come online, Knife just starts shooting guys, and ZETA get the cap along with a parting gift from TVNT. Bro hit the kind of annihilation you go for when you're about to swap characters anyway, which is exactly what he did, except Cropper was ready for it. He instantly went over to the Mei and prevented TM from catching the last train of the night. So to pay respect to the culture, TM had a full Shibuya meltdown. While ZETA were stealing the car further and further away, Proper was causing a ruckus at the Cluck and Bell. To keep him up, Shu and Violet had to give him more than just 2 number 9s and a number 9 large. He got the entire menu of resources. By the time TM realized what was happening, ZETA was almost through the point. All you had to do was stop the damn cart, Tivant. Now, any chance of a recontest is gonna be incredibly rushed or not happen at all thanks to Violet locking that thug up. In some of the most efficient gaming ever, 2 fights won equaled 2 points capped, and ZETA went from struggling to get through first to completing the map with close to 2 minutes. However, I have bad news for all ZETA faithful. They still have not learned how to defend a payload. Regardless of the tank matchup, Sigma, Ram, whatever, they will be rolled. And I just realized they banned Sim against Crazy Raccoon on this map, but not against Yubi? Are we human? Don't worry, guys. Proper can use his Blizzard to defend us, head ass. Court's on some, come outside, bro. We won't jump you, I promise. Their last chance is Knife pulling a rabbit out of his hat. But hold on, he's on the angle, perfectly timed with the fall of the U Berlin wall, and 2 are down. Who needs a teleporter for positioning if you can plug walk and get hood frags? All that remains on the cart is the very nefarious threat. While Knife traversed the 4 corners of the point, TVNT set up a clinic, giving Bernard straight back shots with 0 repercussions. Ain't nobody could pull him away. Bro's throwing out more punches than Star Platinum on an average Tuesday. Got hands rated E for everyone. Proper tried to run away. He knew he was cooked, yet there was no escape. All he did was stall long enough for Violet to give TVNT the 6K to complete the map. In the extra rounds, Proper wastes no time. Bang! Pow, and Quartz is blasting off again. Uncounterable gap that pretty much instantly gives them the point. Once again, TM want to flip the map so they can catch the train. Plus this time, Proper's not on May, which means there's no excuse for missing the departure.
Oh shit, here we go again.
How you gonna let your car get stolen twice in a row at the same junction? This time it's even worse. Every second is a meter you have to make up, and there's a crackhead on Tracer in your backline. TM have to make the long trek down the live firing range to lose the fight, meaning it's another 2 fights won, 2 points capped situation. At least this time, they were stopped on 3rd. Unfortunately, it does not matter. ZETA knew they only needed 1 fight win across 2.5 points, so they hold their ults and avoid going out sad. TM predictably protects Sim on their first map pick of the series, while Yubi shows off how terrifying that really is. He has Proper boxed like a fish, Shu fearing for his life, and just when Proper thinks the coast is clear, he turns into environmental storytelling along with the rest of his team. Yubi made sure Shu got a good, long look at what happened to the rest of his division. TM simply put on another masterclass. The value per ult is truly off the charts. Like Quartz trading Overclock for Sanctuary is already positive. Then to fuck you kill 2 right before it ends? As the Nano's out, so it's a 2-for-1 ult trade. Just disgusting. In an attempt to match the TM time bank, ZETA used every trick anyone has ever had up their sleeve. Streets are saying not even Harry Houdini had this many acts in a single performance. Violet finally Ubered Knife to his target destination with a 5-star rating, which maybe cost him his life, but it's all about the customer satisfaction and the resulting 5K to cap first. Of course, Violet has another scheme. TVNT is trying to spawn camp anyway, so he catnaps him into the spawn door to force the Diva Bomb, then nerd swaps himself to Mizuki to land the binding chain. This is genuinely the type of play you cannot pronounce. Who thinks of this? For ZETA's final trick, Proper finds his super suit and turns into Prime Frozone. He makes it a little nippy out to trade Ramatras, making him the lone tank. Then he finds both supports, so job done, right? Fat chance, bud. Yubi makes like half the Canadian population and dodges the cold weather to go somewhere with a warmer climate. The fight breaks down into Proper vs Yubi, Gojo vs Sukuna, OW devs vs Smooth FPS, or me versus my upload schedule. In the end, Proper wins the fight. So ZETA Division can see the start of 3rd point before Quartz breaks the ult economy and personally escorts the tournament favorites out of the arena. the Grand Finals. One of these teams will walk away being the 2026 Champions Clash champions. It might be a rematch, yet UB entering the lobby makes Twisted Minds a whole different beast. They called in the brains, but Crazy Raccoon have LeBron. Unlike the rest of his team, Stalker has never lost a TM in his career, and he has no intentions of beginning now. Even when we've had more Bastion gameplay than that 1 week where his recon mode was Mega Ray levels of broken, Stalker is still doing tricks I have not seen before. Immobile Bastion in the corner? Ideal target, right? Turns out bro had the pocket pogo stick. Whole squad making TM work for every single kill. Simple almost hunted down to extinction? Nah, you gotta go through Junebin first. Commander Vigi hopped in the tank and Donbin took care of him mother hen style. Hold up, rewind the tape. Who was that doing 360s on Tracer? UB! The Ubsters swapping off sim must be a recession indicator. The CR draft is just too good though. They have practically everyone in the sky while TVNT's Diva is banned. So they took the Cat Bastion mirror and got completely smashed. 5 kills, 8% on the point, and Junebin begging them to come outside. After being put on pack watch, TM go to circuit. Ban Bastion to double as a sim protect, then proceed to get smoked. As soon as Churong heard the voice line, he instantly put up the Sanctuary to have the power of God and anime on his side. At least this time, TVNT can counter Hisang on Pharah. Nope. Hit him with the sticky mousetrap, so this barrage steals a team fight on its own. Couple that with Stock 34 making a movie on May that would have your boss send you home if he saw it. Means Crazy Raccoon only died 10 times across 2 maps and are up 2-0 with the sim ban available. Twisted Minds had to take drastic measures. Secret technique unlocked. Ban Pharah, pick a tank that isn't put in the cuck chair by Mizuki, and walk him down. It seems like an archaic strategy, but the throwback to the London Spitfire with a simple Baptiste adaptation worked wonders. It also helps when you can tap into memories from the future to land perfect immos. I'm so serious, what did he see? You can't convince me he's not a wizard. No enemy in sight, kills him with a headshot? However, it's a bit harder to just force point in the streets phase, especially with Churong still finding Mizuki value. You'd think Rhine bypasses the cuck chair by going shields up like the LA Gladiators recommended, only it's not that easy. You just go from an uncomfortable, probably hostile architecture type bench to standard waiting room upholstery. Definitely better, but also not nothing. So to cap second, TM had to start thinking with portals, although not how you'd expect. Because no one came out the TP, Stalker thought he was safe. 0.5 seconds later, he is a dead body. Sometimes it's not about the destination, but how the enemy thinks you're planning the journey. This gave Twisted Minds a very reasonable 3 minutes to cap third, thanks to their speedrun of first, TVNT being empowered by the Crusader spirit, and a large ult advantage. Window on cart gets them to the second corner. To maintain momentum, they drop the sim wall into the Sanctuary. Then, out of nowhere, Max has a thought. Imagine how sick it'd be if I was on the high ground right now. So he walks into swing range so he can reach the high ground, then remembers the Great Wall is separating him from his team. Vigi is stuck praying that one of these papers will quantum tunnel to heal Max, and TM full cap with 2 minutes to spare. On the offense, Crazy Raccoon also had a pretty quick first with Quartz catching a cold, but from there, we got the 8 ult fight from hell. Max's screen looks normal at first, then descends into what I can only imagine is equivalent to being inside a washing machine spin cycle. Bro's clean too, finds the kill on UB, eats most of TVNT's heals, and closes out the fight. This leaves TM with a slight window advantage which UB abuses. The second CR TP high to flip the map, UB, without looking at it, puts his down to give Quartz the perfect angle, ending the fight before it starts. I think the UB sim is starting to piss him off. One turret makes Churong lose all mental capacity and pop into the hammer like he a whack-a-mole. With UB thwarting their every plan, Crazy Raccoon lay a trap for him. the kind and the curious can't help but investigate a recently vacated angle. Although they don't find the kill, they've caused chaos while forcing resources, letting Stalker catch Vigi and setting up Charong for the Great Wave from the top ropes, resulting in a captured point. CR have to cap with time if they want a chance to win the map, and with the ult state plus Quartz finding an opening pick with about one fight left to go, capping it all is a tall order. Then again, TVNT's Prince Zuko-like need for honor exceeds his shield's capabilities. All of a sudden, he's on the back foot with TM using 4 ults at once to win the fight, while CR only used 1. Now, there's a chance. Moreover, Maximus has a dazzling notion. Perhaps the high ground would be of great use to us on this assault. Send me up there at once. Then he never left. Bro would rather do nothing and punch no one than get off this high ground. He'd rather die. I've never seen a tank get raw one-clipped by Baptiste. You're just not supposed to get shot for that long at once. Also, did he miss the TP? What is going on? He had the right idea, not the right execution. No tank needed. Stalker goes from a high ground to high ground, loop to loop for the 4K, giving CR a chance to draw it out. But now, Max moving like Anakin. No desire for the high ground. Drops directly into the Rhine Sim standing on point for the love of the game. So CR lose their first map of the series, which means it's finally time for the Crazy Raccoon Sim Band to come through, making things look eerily similar to maps 1 and 2. They be winning fights in ways that Infinite Monkey Theorem could not come up with. Fast push disrupted by Blizzard, Max dead, we do not care. Drop support ults and send Vigilante to the new, most insane Juno position of all time. Stalker tries to cross the road and dies? All good, have him hit the Barack Obama impersonation and drop bombs from the other side of the world. It's not only insane that Funny Astro died to this, but all of TM walked into the small corridor. Just when you think it's over, he comes in with the second term. Fastro out here catching fly mortars like he Cam Smith in the outfield. Once TM went down 0-2 and lost to the sneaky flank Brig rally, they radically changed their game plan. Their Kiriko ban was meant to get simple popping on the Baptiste again, but instead, he was Kimbop served on a silver platter. So he said, fuck it. We lock into nails. Now, Funny Astro can go die to whatever bullshit he wants, and nobody will be left out to dry. Also, secret cat counter? Beam that furball right out the sky after 4 to 6 business days. Of course, their ace in the hole is still Quartz being a lunatic. You give him one opportunity, and he will hit that shot. Who else getting jumped by the COD Zombies transit face fuckers at half HP, and not only winning the duel, but killing another guy after on 1 HP. To top it off, we're done with the outdoor points, making the cat comb significantly worse. So bad, in fact, that Yubi, on Tracer, is able to kill 3. It's a 3K sponsored by the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but it all looks the same in the kill feed. With CR swapping 3 heroes and Max meandering towards the point like he doesn't know where he is, TM tie up the map with Yubi getting a clean 3K. Don't let him warm up on Tracer. You will regret it. Final point. TM have an ult advantage, but Quartz Overclock looked successfully kited until the last possible moment. As Charong dips under, he finds Waldo. From there, leave it to the custodial engineer, good guy Yubi, cleaning up the streets, and Twisted Minds are officially in control of the map. After all this time, Crazy Raccoon have finally gotten their first set of ults on this new comp, and they're so excited to use them, they pop all 5 to win the fight. They didn't even flip the point early. The entire time, TM's percentage is rising. Needing only 1 fight win, UBC's Crazy Raccoon part like the Red Sea when Moses spun his Beyblade and wasted 0 time. It doesn't make any sense. On the stage, I see Yubi. In the game, I see the impact of Jwoo. Already, he's done his job. But the lob onto Charong, then immediately blinking into a wall. It's so beautiful. This might be a Tracer play Jwoo could not pull off. Charong only vacated the premises because he felt the aura. I can't help but notice Heesang's been real quiet since Yubi swapped a Tracer. With the Sim ban lost, we go to Runasapi, where CR's Cast ban slightly helps the Cat Bastion matchup, and TM's Mizuki ban unlocks TVNT. Look at him, man. He's frolicking like a puppy experiencing its first snowfall. TM reaped the benefits instantly. He places DM on max and eats up all the yummy papers coming his way. Barely a minute and a half in, and TM are already threatening the checkpoint. Then Divine Intervention smites Stalker down from the heavens, and that shit is secured in 2 minutes flat. Chorong thought he was doing a great job. Then he looks behind him and sees he's lost the baby. The only 2 instances of this happening in the tourney were both against TM on this map. What do they know? Anyway, the fight goes on with Quartz killing 5 total and escaping with his life. Even though CR end with more players alive, TVNT comes back to the bot to gain more meterage. So we get another fight, Jay chilling on the checkpoint, but this time, things do not start TM's way. Fastro's beat only catches his backline because of a Seeing Eye concussive blast. Yubi, upon realizing he is not green, drops the sim wall to compensate for Funny Astro, not for himself. While this is happening, TVNT is moving like an animatronic, jump scares Vigi into feeding him Suzu, and rotating the long way while Max is a dead body. He's even on the right side of the wall and everything. It's too bad. With no tank to pressure him, Quartz basically starts aimbotting. Just look at the tracking on Chorong and tell me you're not saying to 9x report him. Is he human? My mousepad better look like the Sam Burns incident. What the fuck? This gave Twisted a 100-meter lead 4 minutes into the map. And every time Crazy Raccoon tried to gain some momentum, it quickly turned into Sleepy Joe-mentum. Whether it be Chorong failing to build 50% on beat in the final 2 minutes of the map, because he's dying first, like if it happens enough times, the game will make him immortal out of pity, or Quartz being set up for perfect fuck you kills. Either way, CR were cooked. TM fully swung this game seemingly out of nowhere and are now just 1 map away from winning the whole thing, which means Crazy Raccoon is left with no other choice. Max is getting the pull. Bring in the Wrecking Wheel. Similar to when Yubi subbed in, the very game itself changes when Junbin balls out. Terrible news, they rolled the 1 sub map that does not know ball. Also, the entire team forgot what a high noon is and are just so curious to learn more about it. I'm not kidding, Chorong only started to move forward when the shiny light appeared on his screen. Maybe he's played so much JPC, he's merging with this creature. I mean, I could believe the gameplay on the screen is really being controlled by a cat. I'm sorry. Even a cat would know not to go near the giant danger warning. Complete disaster class from CR in what could be their last map of the tourney. Like, what are we doing, man? It's fucking Schrodinger's noon, but you don't have to open the box at all. If Junbin doesn't put up a 3x Jungle Gym Legacy performance, it's Joe. So it's a good thing he's an absolute fucking unit in the Overwatch lobby. He's hitting moves that made LeBron cry. First fight of the round, he scouts, stages, and goes off the wall like he Vans to hit the slam, all while having perfect timing on the pinch from Stalker. And while he's looking for his next hit, he spies a little guy with his eye who's all by his lonesome walking out of spawn. You could smoke an ounce and still not make it up to his level. His initial hit gets a kill and forces Ray, but he knows he's got 1 more in him. So the Wrecking Wheel spins back, boops Quartz out the Ray, and finds the kill. In total, the June Ball lost 1 real fight, and it was because Stalker wanted to take a looky-loo. Other than that, he completely smashed and even revived Heesang, who has been off the deep end since the New Junk City massacre. Sometimes all you're missing is a chance to ball the fuck out. Now, he has more precise tracking than most VTuber models and has found himself just in time for the first Map 7 Grand Finals in OWCS history. Twisted Minds have an important decision to make. All the remaining maps are pretty good for Ball and Jetpack Cat, but they can only ban 1. In the end, they choose Saravasa with a ban on Cat. They must think without the Stalker follow-up, Junbin ain't shit. and Quartz can create an uncrossable hit scan chasm. On the first point, it seems like the right call. Crazy Raccoon still aren't familiar with High Noon's game, and Junbin isn't balling out at all. Their Ram Mizuki comp had the point press to cap early, but with Hisang tossing away Simwall for the love of the game, the position wasn't nearly as strong as they'd hoped. Again, they come back, they get the flip, but they've given TM the ult advantage. So when it comes to actually winning the fight, they cannot. Junbin's already had enough. The ball swap is in, and the touch is good. Vigilante has an unmatched lane to use, but all of a sudden, CR can't really stand in it. Junbin's trying to ball out in the back, leaving nobody to stop the High Noon counter push. CR's next opportunity to do something should be Hisang's Great Wall. But bro is being lore accurate with the time it takes to build. To put it into perspective, Fastro beat the fight after Hisang ulted, and then got to his next one 25% ahead of him. The beat over the top was too terrifying. CR vacated the premises and gave up the point without a death. CR took that personally. They're never giving up the point again. With the wall finally ready to go up, they used 3 ults into 1 to get the initial cap. TM ran out of there faster than a Subnautica player seeing a Reaper Leviathan for the first time. This gave Stalker a chance to put his Sneak Nation membership to the test. You'd think shooting people in the head and taking out the security protocol would reveal your position, but nah. He got there undetected and killed one before getting gapped by the stanky leg. He's thinking the trade's worth though, especially with Choron camping the other side of the TP like he's playing against Launch Sombra and leaves TM with no supports in a 3v3. Most times, I'd say yeah, give me the team with Ball, Kiri alive to win those, but Quartz set up behind the sim wall is multiple atmospheres of pressure. CR are forced to concede the flip, ready to go for next fight. Funny Astro can't wait. Oh my god, a TP! Wonder where we'll go today. Bro exploded like a potato in the microwave. I didn't know the Overwatch engine could do that. Now, CR need 1 fight to cap the point, and to win against 2 X support ults, Junbin slightly nudges TVNT, sending him off course like he Douglas wrong way Corrigan. I just looked this up. Apparently, bro flew to Ireland instead of California? How? Regardless, the map is all tied up. Even with everything on the line, Junbin still can't resist the call of the Suravasa sunroof. If you have the opportunity to use it, it must be done. This slam was such a beautiful work of art that despite Funny Astro not being hit at all, he decided to act like he was out of respect. But no matter how great the artist, sometimes they will have doubts. After Hisang let the intrusive thoughts win and jumped off the high ground for no reason, TM stormed the point. Quartz added another gap to put him at 3-0 in the direct duel, then got his free dinks off Junbin and hit a final little bit of aim training to maximize efficiency. Fastro doing that in his own way as well. Great job clearing the mines, buddy. For a brief moment, Junbin thought, maybe it's me. He swapped back onto the Ramatra, got the kill on Yubi, and watched Quartz kill his entire team around him. He immediately got back behind the wheel. It's a good thing too, someone has to drive the boat. Without Junbin's disruption, Fastro's probably not caught going northbound in the southbound lane while 15% off beat. If he lives here, Twisted Minds likely go up 2-1, but instead it's another Junbin masterclass. Early slam into somehow avoiding booping in the nude, instead only catching Yubi, which forces a shit TP and beat. Now TM have no tools available to walk on point, while he's got a massive fucking Beamsang takes care of business. Crazy Raccoon are now 1 point away from winning the Champions Clash, and Junbin is working on his balance beam circus performance. Bro can't put away the whimsy for 1 minute. He just wanted to ring the bell. On the other side, TVNT's Malga swap tells us all we need to know. He's tired, boss. The constant chains and boops are taking their toll. Unlike Junbin, he does not return to his senses. The Zarya pick makes this a full-blown mid-game crisis. To make matters worse, Simple explodes out of the TP thanks to a stray sim orb that TVNT definitely would have eaten on Diva. For one last chance, he's back on the Va, but clearly TM have no clue. You don't need a clue when you already have the answer. Chorong's dead with ult. He doesn't full peek the noon. He knows what it's about and slimes out Stalker as soon as it's done. For good measure, he pulls up to their place of residence, bang, lets them know how he's moving. This brings us to one last fight for the point where TM are up 4 ults to 3, although CR have an extra support ult. Junbin is once again an amazing savant, staging from angles that don't exist. Slam forces 2 TPs and Suzu, which means Tivant is cooked. Chained to the floor, 0 resources, he remake bombs to the middle of the point. Junbin boops him while he's rooted, then hits a reverse boop as he's coming out the car. How do you even hit a reverse boop? You can't, unless you have help from the inside. At the same time as the bomb, Fastro sent Junbin the other way. This completes the not so funny anymore Astro Disaster class. Dying to mortars on multiple occasions, minefields from ancient wars, beating air in the fight just before this while up a player, and now getting your guy ran over. On top of that, being 2 out of the 3 total Ajaxes from the tournament. This cruel world is not meant for Lucio players no more. For the rest of us, it's not that bad though. And this last fight is a perfect example of how Junbin is built different. Starts with some weird shit that makes you question if he's actually playing Overwatch, hits the super slammer that got him tweaking, breaks the fabric of reality, and then touches every individual member of Twisted Minds. I've already gone through the entire worldwide honey supply. I've ran out of tricks to do on it. Junbin's ball knowledge surpasses the Library of Alexandria. He is the first person to successfully reinvent the wheel. That's why Crazy Raccoon are your 2-time Champions Clash champions. Ho, ho, ho. We didn't rework the name. We said, yup, nailed it the first time. Let's go.